Hello, I'm Kristen Perisonotto.
And I'm Hannah Ferguson, and we're co-founders of Cheek Media Co.
This is the Weekly Cheek podcast.
Before we start the podcast, I'd like to acknowledge that we are on stolen land of the Yagra and Turrbal people here in Meanjin. This land was never ceded and always was and always will be Aboriginal land. Welcome back to the Weekly Cheek.
Welcome.
Welcome.
Okay.
Okay, today we're going to talk about something we hate.
When do we ever talk about something we like, Queen? Seriously.
Today we'd like to talk about the matriarchy, which we love.
Okay, today we're talking about the Miss Universe Pageants announcement that they will be opening the competition in its 72nd year, so next year, to women who are married or women who have who've had a baby.
Oh my God, that's so progressive. Everyone, they've been listening to us. They've been listening to our calls. Fuck yes. I'm so excited.
Who are childless and unmarried. I've been waiting. But what I mean is, it's open to 18 to 28-year-olds.
That is so young.
You're out, Queen. I'm in still.
I'm out. Oh, wait, excuse me. I've got 2 weeks to get onto it.
No.
I'm 28.
The competition's already in motion.
Oh.
You're out forever.
Okay. Well,
how does that feel?
Great.
Does it?
It literally doesn't affect me at all remotely.
Well, I'm all youthful and fruitful and fresh.
But 18 to 28 is a very small gap.
What if I entered for fun?
Don't. You can't.
It's not even fun?
Well, see, this is actually... I was going to save this for the end.
Right.
Have you read my notes?
No.
On this one?
I'm not prepared today. I told you.
That's why I wrote extensive notes. This is why I'm the CEO. Anyway. What?
I bring the fun. And a lot of the time I'm right. How about that?
A lot of the time you're right.
Yep. About content, which is why I'm the head of content.
Oh, yeah, because you're always like, make it more like this. And I'm like, no.
And then when I do it and it goes super well, and I'm
Yes.
like, who was that? We'll never know.
We'll never know. Sometimes I write an article. Well, this happened one time, but it's funny if I say sometimes. I wrote this article and that Hannah had demanded I write, by the way.
Sometimes I'm not the voice and I go in and I say, you must write on this because I can't.
And I wrote on it and I was like, it was like a different vibe for me. And Hannah was like, weak.
I did say,
Go back and do it again.
You came in to talk about something else and I was like, this is weak, is what I said to you. This is weak.
You saying, so before we went off on that tangent, you were saying, could I enter for fun?
Yeah.
My question to you is, can beauty pageants be reclaimed? Can they be reclaimed?
No.
Yes, obviously. That's what I've written in the notes. Obviously,
because
no.
I think that if to be reclaimed, it would have to fundamentally change from a beauty pageant. So it's no longer a beauty pageant.
I thought it would be fun to reimagine a feminist version of a beauty pageant.
Oh, we're going to make it up right now.
Well, what would be in it?
So the current categories for Miss Universe is 3. Personality or crazy girl. You have to be aware of current events. It's actually where they quiz you on like political things and they ask you
that's
about
not your personality, that's a quiz.
Yeah, I know. It's a quiz. Second portion,
World
that's actually the third portion. The first is evening gown. Second is bikini. Third is personality. So let's reimagine 3 categories.
Yeah.
And you know what? I would like to start by saying that a lot of the arguments in favour of beauty pageants is about the scholarship that it offers to these women.
Well, that's another thing I want to talk about. Is there anything positive? Okay, let's just take it one thing at a time. We're really jumping in here because this makes us so angry.
Called the dynamic duo.
I just think it's so horrendous that anyone who is like any level of progressive or thinks of themselves as a feminist actually wants to try and defend a beauty pageant. That is absurd to me.
But I think the interesting thing about these sorts of topics is it's where people argue that there's space for nuance, and as the queen of nuance, there is not.
There's absolutely
I
not.
am happy to look for nuance, and I'm happy to look at like what the redeeming qualities of something are and how we apply it and how we forgive or redeem or progress people. But when it comes to beauty pageants, total annihilation is the only way forward. Like there is nothing else.
And you don't often say that.
No.
So this, again, from the nuance queen.
Am I a fucking conservative? Is that what you're fucking saying?
No, but
you don't often say we should cancel evil things, Hannah. You're usually like, bring it back. You usually
say like, we can build on this and we can improve it.
Yes.
Whereas I'm the one who's saying like,
Destroy the system.
destroy it.
Yeah, you're like burn it
abolish.
to the ground, and I'm
Yeah.
like, well, let's give people a chance.
Yes. So feminist, well, obviously wouldn't be called a beauty pageant. First category, sign making for a march.
God, that's boring.
Okay, fine.
I'm sorry, that was so nasty. Speech at a rally.
Speech.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because
Agree.
I think, and when I go to protest, there's usually every single speaker offers something different.
Yeah.
And I think that where you are in the speech order really should throw a different vibe to your speech. You were excellent, Queen. You would have succeeded in that portion of the competition. But I
Thank
think
you.
writing a speech for a particular protest is a great way to test someone.
Yeah.
Public speaking abilities, wowing a crowd in a particular way, activating, radicalizing, mobilizing people.
Yes.
Incredible.
Agree. Is that the first one?
No, that's the
That's
third
the.
one.
I was gonna say that's the last one, isn't it?
It's also, you want to be careful because we don't want to bring in like a portion that's like writing an essay or something. We don't want to do something like that. I think we want
Yeah.
to test people's abilities to think on the spot.
Yes.
I think the first one would be like, what about like running some sort of fundraiser?
Okay. Yeah.
So
I like
it's
that.
like, it can be you can run it for anything, charity of your choice. It's not about how much money you raise. It's kind of just about how you do it, how you market it. It's more of like a networking,
Yep.
social activism, advocacy perspective, running a campaign.
What about responding to conservative talking points as the middle
Like a
one?
Q&A?
Yeah.
That would be incredible.
Yeah. Oh, yes, a Q&A,
Yeah,
fake Q&A
like a
panel.
panelist. Yes.
Yes, and you've got someone like Andrew Bolt or
Yeah.
or like PVO or
This still
something.
favours a really front-facing activist type.
But if we're modelling it off a beauty pageant, I think that's going to be
The point anyway.
Yes.
I would definitely apply to compete in something like that.
I think another question, just to fuck this all up, is
God.
is that even a feminist thing to do? Not really.
To compete?
Yeah.
No, absolutely not.
To be
But
the most
I think-
feminist.
I think that's one of the fundamental arguments against beauty pageants is that the whole concept is to pigeonhole women and to pit them against each other and pit them against each other for the male gaze.
Yes.
Literally, like how can you be the best for men and
Yeah.
for what patriarchy has defined as being a woman? And that's just like the worst of both worlds.
How do you feel about when they like try to put diversity in things like that?
Well, it's not trying to put diversity. Like, I think that a lot of people say, like, it's diverse because every country comes together, Miss Universe. Well, no, that's the whole point of the competition.
Yes.
And if you look at who's won, I'm sure there'd historically be some skewed data.
Yeah, most likely.
I'm not actually sure, though, so that's a big claim from me.
I'd be shocked.
I'd be shocked. But I think, like, the whole design of the competition is that someone from every country. So I don't think they're, like, being diverse. I think the fundamental idea of the competition is just...
Oh, true. That's true.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't think it's, like, evolved that way.
Yes. Also, diversity for something that includes someone from every country actually does look like body shape diversity.
Yes.
And like 8 different ages, which
Also,
obviously
like,
they haven't done.
Let's bring all the women of the world together to pit them against each other.
Yeah, exactly.
Pure inequality.
And
Like,
we're in bikinis.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck it up.
fuck it up.
All right. Someone commented this because Hannah wrote an article that was posted on our Instagram, and a man, had a good point. I know that's shocking.
Oh my God. Breaking.
Kidding. We don't really get much pushback when we say this. It's either no men are listening. We know for a fact that 9% of our Spotify audience is men. So Spotify. So shout out.
Nice.
Spotify. So a man commented something about like the previous rule that we have now abolished due to great success of the feminist movement.
Feel the wind. Feel it.
Progressives are never happy with anything.
I mean, to be fair, there's at least one woman out there who's probably like, oh, I could apply now.
Yeah.
But like,
Why would you?
Can I say something really controversial before we go to this man's good point? I was strolling through the book section at Big W, as I do, because it's the best book section. And I saw this book, and you'll probably know who I'm talking about, most of you. And it was like a former Miss Universe Australia who wrote it, and it was like, the cover was like, find your light, like how to let your light shine and like be yourself or whatever.
That? Okay.
And the thing is, it's like, each to their own in terms of if you've overcome struggle, you've overcome struggle. But I really, 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 really fucking find it hard to look at that book and be like, you know what, I'm really going to get something out of former Miss Universe Australia telling me how to find my light because of her struggles that she's overcome. Like the most beautiful women in the world who, and absolutely have probably struggled, and I believe she has, with disordered eating or eating disorders. And that is fucked and that is awful and I'm sorry. But the way that these beautiful, privileged white women put forward this narrative of like, I've overcome so much. And it's like, I'm sure you have. Everyone does. But the scale with which you look through this lens as to your struggle is just like so different. And it comes back to choice feminism, because when we look at like pageants like Miss Universe and we say like, oh, it's, you know, it's a form of feminism because, you know, every woman's right to choose and have individual freedoms and individual choice and agency. Well, no, because we've got people who are living with disability, or people who are, you know, people of color, or people in different minority groups who have roadblocks to even fucking existing. And then we're looking at the women who are like, I'm competing against the most beautiful in the world for scholarship. And it's like, I'm sorry, but those struggles are different and they exist on a scale and they're much fucking smaller. And that's the facts. I know that my struggles are nothing compared to that of 90% of the fucking world. We are the 1%, right?
And the other thing is like, even though, because I think it always comes back to like, well, pretty people can have problems too. Of course.
We're not disputing that.
As Hannah said, us two in the 1%, we're not going to run a fucking book about it and profit off it.
I have struggled so much. My parents didn't love each other when I was a baby. That's most of the world, queens.
So true, queen.
Like, this is the thing, is like, we all have struggle. We're not disputing that, but it's just so rich. This idea of like, well, you know, these women have problems too, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yes, but the world has also given them everything.
Also, this might be controversial. Is when you say like, oh, those women have problems too. A lot of those problems are from the patriarchy, which those women are upholding by being part of a beauty pageant.
And
sorry,
but also,
like you're literally like digging your own fucking grave.
By competing in Miss Universe, you're probably subjecting yourself to the worst disordered eating of your life for a period of time.
Yes.
Like, there is no way that you can, I do not think, and actually I know someone who's competing at the moment is top 30 in their country, and I've been watching her Instagram and it's genuinely terrifying to me because her transformation, I'm like, you can't be well.
Yeah.
Like, you cannot. Anyway, that's aside. What's the good point this man made?
So
redacted.
This is the around the, again, former rules about you can't enter if you are married, and you can't enter if you have ever had a child. Is he said, oh, is this about like a purity, like virginal type thing?
Yes.
That's what I thought too.
Okay, so in 1999 only, the US removed some of their morality clauses. They have morality clauses in the contracts. So like, you couldn't have had an abortion before that.
How would they check well, they fucking would, wouldn't they?
But it's like, there's different, you know, and I'm sure, what's like The Bachelor? Like, I'm wondering what those rules are. They probably have unspoken rules in terms of their applicants. And The Bachelor, when you apply to go on the show, you have to reveal your clothes size. No. In the application form, I'm pretty sure.
Fuck off. But theirs is probably more like covert. They would just like look you up and see if you've ever said anything that they don't want you to.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, is it a regulation or not? What's the difference?
Yeah.
Still applied.
Yeah. But I think because Miss Universe is a competition, you have to like sign on the dotted line that you've never done X, Y, Z.
It's absolutely like a purity culture thing, and it's about, but it's also about being like a single, attainable woman. Not attainable, unattainable, but like attainable for men.
Yes.
You're accessible and available to men.
Exactly, because that's what the whole competition is about. And I know that like, oh, there's probably women who are judges,
There's
blah,
a
blah,
personality
blah.
component.
They can still like those women can still uphold the patriarchy. And the judges there is no fucking way a judge of Miss Universe is a feminist, sorry.
You know, the only pageant I'm watching is the segment in Little Miss Sunshine at the end. I fucking love that shit.
But even that was disturbing.
Of course, but that was the point.
Yes, of course. Yeah.
When do you think it'll get abolished? When do you think we'll actually see evolution? Will we see evolution, or will we just see abolition?
Well, I actually think the fact that they've changed these rules and like evolving with the times actually means it's going to take longer to get abolished.
Yes. But it's not evolving with the times. Like, I didn't realize those were the rules. Honestly, all they've done is alert us to the rules.
Exactly.
Because I had no idea.
No.
Because I don't pay attention to that shit because I have dignity.
Good.
So.
Oh, the scholarship thing.
Yeah.
We kind of brushed over that. So, Do you know how much money they get?
No.
Okay. Is it cash or?
I don't know. It's
is it
also
like-
opportunity because they do a lot of travel and sponsorships and networking with different groups. So
Yes.
they also do a lot of, I was looking at the Miss Universe organization website, they do a lot of charity work.
Yeah.
But it's promoted as being like that as the front face of the organization. No, it's fucking not. It's about being hot.
Yeah, exactly. Also, it's like so steeped in privilege.
Also, oh my God, the WikiHow. There's a WikiHow on how to apply and compete in Miss Universe. And it has like advice on how much makeup artists cost by the hour, how to
Really?
remove your body hair. It's so strange.
Fuck
Not
me.
really any application advice, just like there are 3 segments of the competition and they make a point to say there's no talent portion. Like, you know how in other beauty pageants, it's like they, you know, she sings or
Yeah.
she does Irish dancing or she...
Miss Congeniality.
Or she's an incredible essay writer with very many philosophical, intellectual, academic thoughts and qualifications.
Bow, bow.
Bow, bow,
Excluded.
loser! You fucking loser!
You're supposed to be hot.
You're supposed to be hot. Put the bikini on. Then write an essay. You slag.
Oh my God, imagine just like a woman doing that talent portion, just wearing a bikini, writing an essay, like on
Be
stage.
unique.
It would be. Anyway, so what are we talking about?
The
Scholarship. I just think, so back to what you were saying, you said that a lot of the like pushback on the critique from believers in Miss Universe say, well, it's actually a good thing because of the scholarship,
Yes.
which I just don't think is relevant at all because you're getting the scholarship like by fucking clawing your way to the top of a mounded heap of hot women
Yes.
in bikinis to be like the queen of the hot women.
Yes.
So I just don't really think that's like relevant at all. I really need to just talk about the personality segment again. Sorry.
Go for it.
So is it like in Miss Congeniality when they like, when you talk about world peace?
I think it is.
That is genuinely what it's like.
I don't know. I think it's to that extent, but I think it's about current affairs and events.
I just like find it a bit strange. Why do they need them to know that stuff? Is it because they're supposed to be like
That's
some kind of
part-
like UN type of vibe kind of person?
No, I think so. I think the idea is like this scholarship is that they have to have I think what they're trying to do is almost raise it as a point of classism or something.
Oh, of course.
To be honest, because I do think that is like an evolution of like, we do care about their personality. No, we don't. We want them to answer a few questions. There are a few famous throughout the years, like responses to these questions that like have gone viral and things. It also reminds me of in 2015, I think it was Steve, what's his name? The Family Feud guy in the States who read out the wrong country as the winner.
Oh,
Do you remember that?
yeah. I thought that was at Top Model.
No,
Oh.
Miss Universe.
I think they did in Top Model as well, actually. They read out the
And
wrong
then they
name.
did the Oscars as well.
Yeah.
Very funny gag, guys.
Real funny.
Real funny.
Isn't it on accident though?
Yeah, but it's like happened so many times. It's just
Yeah.
trying to get views.
Or do you think they do it on purpose?
Yeah.
That
What's
is
that
so
guy's
mean.
name? What the fuck is that guy's name?
I mean, honestly, if you are in Miss Universe, you deserve it.
That's really not fair. But because I think that the issue is like I don't think it's respectable to do the competition. I would never do it. But like these women are trained to.
You don't think they're participants?
I think it's a product of the system.
I don't know. At that
Why is this the one that we switch on?
At that level, that these women are like the most privileged of the privileged.
Yeah,
for
so
the
they don't
most
know any better.
part.
And I think the issue is that they're so attached to the way they look. Like you're not attached to the way you look.
No, but it's not about me though.
No, I know, but it's
think
about
that
all of us.
Yeah, but I just think that to go to that level, for me, it's always like, yes, obviously this is like a patriarchal thing, and it's not like tomorrow a woman's going to be like, oh, I'm not going to do Miss Universe ever again. But I just think like to go to those lengths, like at some point we have to say you take the responsibility.
Absolutely. I think, yeah, there's responsibility, but I also think it's interesting because I think if I was like the hot woman and, you know, was educated and thought I could sort of compete in something like this, I would be like, interesting opportunity. And there is scholarship. There is a lot to be won and gained from that. You're a public figure. You gain a lot of sponsorships. You basically can build a career out of this win or even being selected or top 30. You're meeting so many people with the sponsorships. It's like going on The Bachelor.
Hot people can do that without going to Miss Universe.
No, I know, but it's a surefire way to get there.
But it's not surefire at all because it's a competition with all of the hottest people in the world.
Yeah, but there's something to be enjoyed from that for people who look like that, I think.
That's sick.
See, I would find it disgusting because I'd be just so inadequate. I would just feel disgusting the whole time.
I mean, that's what the viewers are supposed to feel.
I think these women must feel it about each other. Like you're actually competing alongside these people and going to these events and doing it for like months at a time. It's quite a tour of your country, and then to do Miss Universe as well. It's interesting because, like, are you friends? You're all competing to be the hottest. There must be just the most toxic environment to be working in.
Yeah. It's like the Olympics except times a million.
Yeah. I feel like the Olympics is just a sex fest.
Yeah, that's what everyone's told.
Yeah, true.
I don't know, though. They tried to ban it in the last Olympics 2020 that happened in 2021. They were like, apparently there were no condoms given out.
So
then that was like to deter the sex.
Okay, that's just going to promote the children.
Literally. Get with the times. In summary, fuck it off.
Wow, incredibly profound insight. It's not good.
It just bothers me so much that their like strategy around this is like, we've listened and we're going to make it more diverse.
It's just crazy to me that those were the rules existing. I never thought about it before, which is kind of a testament to how little we engage with it, I think.
Yeah.
And I think most people were shocked by the news because they were like, oh, what? You didn't before?
Yeah.
But it's also like not something I watched or have watched. I don't know anyone who watches it.
Me neither.
I guess it's just something that comes up as a headline one day a year or whatever. But it's interesting because all they've done is alert us to the fact and cause to stir, alert us to the fact that they are decades behind.
Yeah.
Wonder what they'll do next.
Wonder what they'll do next.
If you didn't find us completely insufferable, come back next Wednesday for a new episode.
You could also find us on Instagram at Cheek Media Co. or online at cheekmedia.com.au.
Yes, that's the one.
That's the one.